great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. It's your boy, Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer extraordinaire, practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. How are you guys doing? It's good to see everybody. I'll be here for the next hour trying to answer as many immigration law-related questions as I can. I wonder if we should, count how many I get to each episode. That would be sort of fun. But it would also stress me out. Hooli says yes, but that's too much busy work. We don't need all that, Hooli. We don't need all that. We're just having fun. We got people from Gambia watching. What the heck, Gambia? Wouldn't you love to go to Gambia? Wouldn't that be nice? How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? You know, the election is less than a month away. In 1 month, people will go to the polls and vote. I'm going to try to vote early. I don't want to vote on the election day. That'll be sort of crazy. I'm going to try to vote early. In Missouri, you can vote 2 weeks early without any kind of explanation as to why you want to vote early. We got Joe and V watching from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I've never been to the Upper Peninsula. And also, there's this island up there in Michigan. It's not in the Upper Peninsula. It's in the mitten part over here, I think, where you can't have cars. You just sort of drive around on bikes and walk around. It's supposed to be a really nice little island. Yeah, Robert mailed his ballot in already. Good stuff. All the U.S. citizens watching, please make sure to vote. All the non-U.S. citizens, please make sure not to vote. Don't ever register if you're not a U.S. citizen. You know, one of the big cardinal sins, one of the big things that is almost impossible to overcome is saying that you're a U.S. citizen. But to make matters worse, voting is worse if you're not a U.S. citizen. So that is a deportable offense. That's something that's going to keep you from getting your citizenship. That's a crime. These are all things that when the Republicans go on and on about how all these illegals are coming in and voting, that's all crap. There's so much disinformation. I'm appalled at the levels of disinformation that we're seeing. And I think now it's actually costing people's lives, sort of like COVID did. All the lies that Trump and the Republicans told about COVID, that it wasn't going to be any big deal, that you could shove bleach up your ass and save yourself from COVID, you know, all those things. Now it's just transmogrified into the hurricane. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that Democrats and Jews are controlling the hurricanes and the storms. It's just, and that people shouldn't leave their homes. It's just bizarre. It's almost like people hoping for the end of time, the end of times. Like they're waiting for the rapture to get brought up in a hurricane, or waiting for a devilish messiah like Donald Trump to take office again. I'm glad people are voting. I'm going to early vote for sure. All right. So we have friends in TikTok, even though Tarboosh says Trump 2024, why anyone would ever say Trump 24 to me is beyond me. But we love everybody, even Tarboosh 2000. Hello, Tarboosh. We'll be here, like I said, trying to answer questions. If you want to do it on video, come over to YouTube. If you want to do it on text, come over to TikTok. I see a brat apple. That's good. I assume that's for our friend. Oh, yeah, that's right. AJ's right. Old Trump got busted sending COVID kits, special COVID kits to Putin, and meeting with him 7 times after he's president. Do you know why that is? So they can talk about how Donald Trump would kneel again at the foot of Putin and get the support of all these trolls and bots that Putin has working, trying to get Trump elected from Russia. Why is that? We must wonder. Benjamin is here. Hello, Benjamin.
Hi, Jim. This is my second time on your show, actually. I think the first time was a little over a year ago. I was discussing the I-130 with you. First and foremost, I would like to say how grateful I am for you and all that you do for us all.
Oh, thanks.
You are truly appreciated.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Thank you for saying thank you.
you are very welcome, and you were spot on with the I-130. By the way, it took like 1 year and 16 days with
Yeah.
the estimate you gave me. I was hoping for a bit more insight. I was wondering, once everything is accepted by the NVC, if you would happen to have like an estimated time frame until the medical exam and interview at the embassy is scheduled.
So have you been notified that the case is documentarily qualified?
When you sign into the NVC, everything in my portion and hers says it's all been accepted, and the last document was accepted the 15th of July.
Okay. So I'm not the best at the different processing times and how long you have to wait at each embassy. I know about some embassies. Which embassy are you dealing with, Benjamin?
Manila.
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, people will say in the comments, but I think it's going to be somewhere around 2 years, which is
Before
ridiculous.
for the NVC process, because
No,
the
no,
I want the
I think you're pretty much documentally qualified. I would say somewhere between 18 to 24 months to actually getting an interview in Manila, but people will put it in the comments. I just don't know.
okay. Well, thank you.
I wish I had better news. Thanks, Benjamin.
Thank you as well.
Good luck, buddy. All right, all right. That was Benjamin. Let's go to Daniel. Hello, Daniel. I can't hear you.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
How you
How's it
doing?
going?
I like your vest.
Thank you. It's from work.
Nice. What's up?
So I got a very, very short question. Um, I am a F4, I'm a F1 visa student on OPT currently. And I got married in August this year. And uh, basically my question is, if you could explain me the timeline for the I-130 and the I-485, on how long that takes. I'm in the US right now. We've been married for 2 months now, but we've been together for 9 months.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm just asking for some advice, I guess.
So your
And
spouse is a U.S.
yeah, she's a US citizen.
Keep going.
And we live in Maine, and I'm
Okay.
currently on my OPT, so I'm still good legal here, and my OPT doesn't run out until next year June. So
Okay.
I have a valid EID card right now. So I guess what I'm asking is like, when is a good time to file? Because we are kind of scared of what happens with, if there's a new president and like things change. So we were considering filing in December.
Mhm.
I'm getting all my my medical exam done right now. I have my first appointment in a month, and yeah, I guess I'm just looking for some advice.
Sure. So the best time to file is yesterday. The best time to file is yesterday, not just because Trump might come, but also because they're just slow.
Yeah.
So the goal would be for you to get work authorization or your green card by June when your OPT EAD runs out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be saying I mean, December is fine. I'd be trying to, I would say you should be able to get everything ready in, the next 6 weeks. So I would say maybe shoot for mid-November, early November, get that thing on file. So your spouse will file an I-130. You'll file an I-130A. You'll file
Mm-hmm.
a 485 for the green card. Then I would say definitely file for the work card. It's only $260. So do that.
Yeah.
Advanced parole if you think you need to leave the United States at any time while the case is pending. That's a little bit more expensive, but I would do that if you can afford it. And then the medical, and then your spouse is going to have the affidavit of support. So that's the I-864. So if they're a college student like you, they might not have had the income that they need for the last 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
you would need a co-sponsor. So that's a U.S. citizen or green card holder who says, if Daniel ever gets benefits in the United States and Daniel can't pay the government back and Daniel's spouse can't pay them back, then I'll be the third person up. I'll be the joint sponsor. So you would need a co-sponsor, and they would do their own I-864. You send
Okay.
all that stuff off. Let's say we send it off November 15th. You get receipt notices back sort of in early December, and then you'd probably get a fingerprint appointment most likely, because you haven't had an immigration benefit in the United States. You most likely have to get fingerprinted. There's probably a service center in Maine somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Portland or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Portland. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they do a background check on you. The goal would be, Daniel, to submit enough evidence so they don't feel the need to interview you. Someone who's on an F1, who has a good co-sponsor, who has submitted their medical, who has good marriage evidence. The goal is to not have an interview, and there's probably an 80% chance you won't have an interview. Most likely you'll probably get your work card around February, and then you'll probably get your green card, I would think, before June. So that would be good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it is different because I'm reading a lot. I'm doing a lot of research right now.
Sure.
And I see all of these crazy processing times. Like I think Portland, Maine actually said 18 months right now that the field office is taking that long for an interview, to schedule an interview. But yeah, I'm just curious, and I need more.
I don't think that's generally true. I mean, the smaller field offices and stuff go pretty fast. I would say on the long end, maybe a year.
Okay.
So you could stay. You wouldn't be able to keep working. Are you in a STEM field or no?
No, I cannot extend my OPT.
So you can stay. I mean, hopefully you have your work card. Then you could stay and work and just wait for the day. Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of my goal. But I was just very, very anxious about these crazy processing times. I know I can stay in the States until like I'm adjusted, but but okay, that was all. That was very good information you gave me. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Donna gives me a good reminder, as she so often does, to all the South Floridians and Yardies. Hope you all survived the hurricane. That's for sure. I should have let off the show with that. So, Donna, thank you for the reminder. Speaking of another hurricane, we've got our very own, the Wisconsin Muslim hurricane. His name is Yassine Hori, and he's here too. Present. Hello, Yassine. Yassine's been sending me lots of updates from Wisconsin, boots on the ground. Yassine's been to a few rallies, and he's paying real good attention. He's doing everything he can to try to get out the vote, and I appreciate his efforts, and more importantly, I appreciate his friendship and all of his good messages to me. So thank you, Yassine, for that. All right, let's kick it over to TikTok. I'm sure Hina probably has some questions for me from the TikTok. And remember, you don't have to post a bunch of times. She's posting them here for me to read. All right. Here we go. Mister, do you know if they are calling for asylum interviews? Been waiting 6 years. Should I call USCIS? That's from Jazz Alex. Jazz Alex, mostly what we're seeing is interviews only after you sue them. So I think that they're just sitting on most cases. They're dealing with a lot of stuff at the border still, and they're basically not moving a lot of cases. So to get your case moving, you might have to sue them. Gal Karen, 1969. Why are I-601A waivers taking so long? They got sued over that. They're just slow. They're just the Trump team put in a bunch of procedures, and plus COVID really slowed things down at USCIS, and no one at the Biden team has ever for the last 4 years done anything to speed those things back up. It's just not a priority for them. I am Quinny. It's normal waiting for an I-130 marriage case to be approved for 10 months. Yeah, like we said, I think about if it's overseas, probably 14 months. If it's here, probably 10 to 12 months. Yanni says, my I-45 case has been stuck on biometrics received for 6 months. What can I do? You can call and bother them, but most likely that's all you're going to be able to do, Yanni. All right, let's go to Dora Kareem. Hello. You're on mute, Dora Kareem. Hello, Dora. Dora. All right, she must be partying with Boots. All right. Let's go to Moner. Hi, Moner.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jim. How are you today?
Great, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for your valuable time for doing all these things for us.
Sure.
Let me give you a background. I am a green card holder. I came to your show a couple of times before. I filed my I-130 for my wife and my stepchild separately, and both approved. They are in NVC now.
Yep.
And now, as per your advice, I paid the fees twice for my stepchild because he is included in my wife's case, and then he has a separate case.
Yep.
So the fees has been approved, but I paid only one time the affidavit of support fee. That is the only one time it was asking in
Yep.
my wife's case.
That's true. That's how it works.
Okay, sir. So now my question is that this affidavit of support document, I need to provide separately for both petition.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, and my wife's petition, my wife's document, should I include my stepchild over there or no? Just leave it as it is
I would leave it as it is.
for both separate.
Mhm.
And this DS 260, they are asking me to fill out in 3 places actually for my stepchild separate and my wife's case twice.
Yep.
So it's good.
Good.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your help. I'm just gathering all the documents and everything, so I just don't want to make any mistake.
You're doing great, Moner. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Yep. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. All right. Let's go to Jikang Wong. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Hi. Glad to see you, and then glad to hear about this. This is a great platform for questions. My question is for my sister. She has a green card since 2017, and then her card is still valid until expire until 2027.
Sure.
The question is, she since COVID-19 period, she back to China for safety issue, health safety issue. So right now, since after that she want to back, but wondering when go to the custom. U.S. custom will be delayed or something. So my question is, since she stay overseas in China for more than 3 years after COVID-19, maybe a couple of years right now. So she want to back and wondering if this green card still valid or need some form or some. I was told about to file in FB1 something. Not sure. So this is my question.
If I were your sister,
Yeah.
I would try to come back.
Okay.
On the green card. They might let her in, they might not. She might have to go back to China, but I think they'll probably let her in, and then she needs to stay here and no more long trips. I would probably stay until I got my citizenship, which is going to be she's going to have to wait 4 years and 1 day to apply for her citizenship, and she should not leave the United States. They might not let her in, but I think that's her best bet. SB1 is the other thing you're talking about, trying to get from the embassy. It's almost impossible. I would just try to come and see what happens.
Oh, okay. Very, very good suggestion. Very appreciate it, Jim.
Yeah, if she can't get in, then call me back and you and I can talk with her off camera.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Have a good call or have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Yep. Jay is here. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing good. So this is not for me. I'm asking on behalf of a friend.
Great.
So I have a friend. He's originally from New York State. He's married to a woman from the Bahamas.
Okay.
And I went, in fact, they had a wedding last year in about August. I went to the wedding. It was in the Bahamas. So his wife, originally, to me, I think it's a crap show, and you probably will think so too. But so she, I guess, has been really eager to get to the United States. And originally, she applied for a work visa, like an H-1B, through a company that was willing to sponsor her.
Before they got married or after they got married?
Before they got married.
So and she's tried the employment route.
Yeah. So she tried that, and they had already been in the process of that and working on it. And she was like, oh, this is taking too long. And so she basically told them to, cancel that. And then so about 2 months after they got married. Well, so let me just say that after they got married, she stayed in the home country, and she was going to wait on this work visa to come through before she came to the U.S. Like I said, she didn't want to wait. So she decided to come here as a visitor. And she did not disclose to immigration that she was coming to see her U.S. citizen husband. So she just told them that.
Did she disclose that she had a U.S. citizen husband?
No.
So
No.
she said single?
She didn't. She just didn't say anything. She just said she was coming here to visit
That's
a
impossible.
friend.
That's impossible because on the form, there's, I mean, whatever she said at the embassy, I don't know what she said, but on the form itself, it asks, what's your marital status?
So she came. She didn't count. I guess she had a visa beforehand. She had a visitor visa beforehand. So
That makes sense.
she just came on that, and then didn't disclose that she was coming to see her husband. And so she came, and then she tried to get her husband to sponsor her. But here's the problem: her husband did not have the income to sponsor her at the time. So anyway, they paid like $5,000. Somehow, some immigration lawyer said they could help them, so they did that. But they needed a co-sponsor, so her friend did the co-sponsoring. But her husband is on Medicaid. Her husband is on and food stamps as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that is going to affect her immigration process. But I guess her husband more so is worried because, this thing has been in process since let's say maybe October of last year.
Yeah.
And he just is not sure what's going to happen with her, like if she's going to get a green card or anything. So I don't know. What would you say?
I would say this sounds like a case that could be approved.
Okay.
Just the fact, I mean, that whole, what did they say to CBP for the purpose of their trip? That's always going to be a problem. If she said, I'm going to a conference or I'm going to see friends in Seattle, and instead she moved in with him the night she arrived, that's a problem, right? But if she said, I'm going to go visit America, and she's come before you, they might not have had much interaction at all. You might have said, what's the purpose of your visit? Coming in to see friends and family or something, something vague. That would be something you could get approved. So, and October, if they applied in October, these cases are taking a year and a couple months. So that, I mean, this is probably going to get an interview. The fact of the matter is they treat poor people pretty shittily at USCIS, and they think that they have an incentive to marry people for a green card. So, I think it's approvable. I think the $5,000 is what we would have charged. So nothing you're saying, I mean, it's a bit messy, but nothing you're saying scares me or makes me worried.
Yeah, it's just that she was really eager because, like I said, she applied for the work visa. Then she went through her husband. She also considered applying for a student visa.
Yeah.
I don't know if she got anywhere with that, but I know she definitely did start the process of the work visa and stuff. So
yeah, that's okay. That's all okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm not that worried. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, buddy. All right. That was Jay. Let's go to TikTok. All right. Okay. Ariel says, I have an I-130 pending on behalf of my mother and asylum affirmative pending. What else can I do? That's pretty good, Ariel. That's two things. I don't know what else you'd want to do. I think that's all you can do. If obviously you're a U.S. citizen, only U.S. citizens can file for their mothers. So I think everything should be okay. Just waiting. It's probably maybe I-130 that gets her the green card faster. User 815. I'm separated and will divorce my husband. Cancel my. Let's see, what does this say? Cancel my interview for green card. Can I apply again? I'm separated and while divorced, my husband canceled my interview for green card. Can I apply again? Most likely no, not based on that marriage. If they filed for divorce and they don't want to play and help, that's probably over. All right. Moy independent woman. Hi, Jim. If my husband, he's filing for my children, do they have to live with us in the same state? No, they don't have to live in the same state. Eventually they'll probably have to. And I mean, I would think USCIS might wonder why they live in a different state. I think it's not so much yes or no as an answer to your question. I think it's what other questions, Moy independent woman, does that lead to? So I think they'd want to know why that is, and they want to know the details of things like that. All right, so we'll come back to TikTok in a bit. I wanted to mention my good friend Donna says, Jim, your show was mentioned on PDT in Jamaica. Donna loves giving shout outs to me down on Jamaican TV, which of course we appreciate. On YouTube yesterday by Donna Thompson. The name of the host for that show is Andre Steven. Can you give him a big shout out for me? He's the best, Jim. Yes. Andre Steven, thank you for giving us a shout out. Maybe we can have you on our show. Maybe you, me, and Donna can come on the show together. That would be fun. Maybe we can get rich. Maybe we should have a yardie party one time. That would be fun, wouldn't it? If we had a yardie party on a Friday, that would be too bad I don't drink, but that would be fun. We would have a lot of fun if we had a yardie party on the show. I think maybe when Donna's son goes down to Jamaica, we can, over the Christmas break, we could do a yardie party. That would be fun for all the yardies. Urgena's here. Urgena, hello.
Hi, Jim. My question is regarding I-45.
Okay.
I was just wondering for Russian citizens if there is a visa bulletin. I know in the past it used to be current, but how are things now?
So who's filing for who?
I'm going to file for myself.
What are you applying for?
I won EB2 and NIW.
NIW. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm pulling up the visa bulletin now. It usually takes a minute. So are you inside the United States or outside the United States? I'm sorry,
Inside, in the US.
What's your current status? F1 or something?
F1, yeah. Last year of PhD program.
Yep. Good for you. All right. EB2 NIW. So the I-140, once you get your priority date, they're letting people file for the green card for cases with a priority date from August of 2023. So that's about a year, but I think it's taking actually longer than that. Those have been going very slowly because so many people are applying for NIW, and then the final action date is March of 2023. So that's not so bad. So
means I cannot apply concurrently, right? For I-40.
That's right. You file the I-140 first, and then once your priority date becomes current, then you file for adjustment if the I-140 gets approved.
Oh, okay. One more question. It's for a friend. So a friend got, I think, the same program, actually, EB2. They already have a green card, but they got divorced, and the husband is moving to a European country, I think. Is it going to somehow affect the family? They all have green cards, but they are getting divorced. And the principal, who got the green card, he is moving out of the country.
So what this is like us. So how many people are in this family?
One child and a husband and a wife, 3.
And which one? Who's the principal beneficiary of the green card?
The husband.
And has everybody received their green card?
Yes.
When did they receive their green card?
A year ago.
And now they're getting divorced or what?
Yes.
And the principal beneficiary is moving back to Europe.
Yeah.
Everybody's fine. As long as they have their green cards, they're fine.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much then. Yeah.
Bye, Erzena.
Yeah, bye.
Pajolsta. All right. Dropping a little Russian over there. All right. Let's go to Alpert. Hello, Alpert. You're on mute or something. I can't hear you.
Hello, attorney. I think it's the second or third time I'm on your show already.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you. I got my green card September last year under national interest waiver, NIW. I'm living in the U.S. now, Florida. My wife, she's Nicaraguan. I'm Nicaraguan as well. But she came into the country February this year under Nicaraguan humanitarian parole. So I want to adjust her status. My question is, do I need to file just for I-485, or do I have to submit a different form with it?
So you want to apply for her as your spouse?
Yes.
As a green card holder, you want to sponsor? You want to do it as a green card holder, or
yes? No, as a green card holder, yes.
So you have to file an I-130 for her, and then you have to wait for the 45 to become current.
So I need to submit but she's here in the U.S. with me.
Yeah, but you still have to prove up the marriage. In order for her to get the green card, the I-130 isn't just to get her the visa. The I-130 is to prove up the relationship.
Okay. So is there a way that I can submit these two together, or?
No, you can't, for that same reason I was just talking to the Russian lady about. Here, let me show you, okay?
Okay.
So, Albert, there are an unlimited number of visas available for the spouses of U.S. citizens, but for the spouses of green card holders, it is capped.
Okay.
And because it's capped, there's a backlog. That means there's people in line ahead of her waiting. So, like if you were a U.S. citizen, then she could file the I-130 and the 45 at the same time. But because there's a backlog, she can't file the 485. She can't file the 485 yet, right? We might need to talk about this off camera, because there's a couple things we need to think about. One is there is a follow to join provision when you get an employment-based green card. So we might want to look at that to see if there is a faster way for her. I don't know if that'll work because she entered on Nicaraguan parole, but that's something worth talking about. That's number one. Would follow to join apply in this case? I don't know off the top of my head, right? And then the other thing is I want to show you the visa bulletin so that we're all on the same page, okay?
Okay.
So when does her parole end?
It ends February of not next year, but 2026.
February of 26?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that might help us. All right. So present, share screen, visa bulletin. Here we go. Okay. So when it comes to sponsoring someone for a green card based on marriage, there's two dates that become important. Well, one is you file the I-130. And if you file, let's say you file the I-130 on November 1st, okay, because it takes you 2 or 3 weeks to get on file. And again, you can't file the 45 with it. So you file the I-130 and it gets receipted, and it's going to have a date on it, the receipt date. It's going to be November 1st. That's your priority date, okay? Then you're going to become really good friends with this thing called the Visa Bulletin. Every month, around the 5th or 6th of the month, you're going to start typing into Google Visa Bulletin October or December 2024, Visa Bulletin January 2025, and you're going to check each month. And at some point, her priority date is going to become current. So this is the F2A category. So see that there? See that there? It says July 15th, 2024.
Yeah.
So if you had applied for her back on July 1st and this visa bulletin came out, then it's time for you to file the 485 and the work card and the travel document, all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can't do that yet. And so then you get that on file, and you should apply for a travel document and you should apply for a work card for her, because the next date that becomes important is the final action date. So we were looking at the date for filing the 485, but then once it's on file, then we have to start looking at the final action date. And so right now, they're not being able to give green cards to people unless their priority date was before November of 2021, right? So that's like a 3-year wait for the actual green card. So probably what will happen, most likely, maybe, is you might get your citizenship before that date becomes current, and then you just notify USCIS that she's the spouse of a U.S. citizen at that point, not the spouse of a green card holder, and then there's an immediate visa available for her. But the most important thing is that we need to pay attention to is you need to get that I-130 on file right away, because we need this date, the filing date, to become current before her parole runs out, because we want her to maintain her status the whole time. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yes.
So it's a little bit tricky. We call it a 2-step because you can't do it in 1 step. You got to do it in 2 steps. So that it's a little bit trickier when you have your green card. How old is your green card?
I got it September 15th last year.
Yeah, so it'll be a race. Does Alpert become a citizen first, or does the green card final action date become current first? We'll just have to wait and see.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye, Albert.
So,
yeah.
Where could I leave my contact info so that we can talk off camera?
Email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Albert. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
We always like it when people get their NIWs approved. But Oh yeah, that's a good question. Hey Jim, how did immigrants know the visa bulletin before the internet, like the time to start applying? I would imagine it was published in the CFR or some other place. I don't know. I guess USCIS probably had printouts of when they were, and you go down and ask them. That's a funny question. I don't know. I'll try to ask some old timers next time I see them. You see, that's a good question. I'm an old timer, but there's old timers older than me. This is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. Nick Lass, I see you keep saying, is parole under 212D5 adjustable? I don't know, brother. That's why I haven't answered the question. I don't usually answer questions in there. But when you start pulling out citations to statutes, I got to go look that shit up. So I don't know off the top of my head, so I can't answer that question. I'm sorry about that. All right. Oh, we got lots of questions now. Where'd we go? We had a big one there. Where was that? Where is that? Where is that? Oh. All right. What the heck? I don't know what's going on. Today? Okay. Shane says, if I apply for a visitor's visa while waiting and get denied, would it mess up my I-130? It could if they say you made a misrepresentation. So I would always say, don't get your hopes up on that visit visa. And sometimes it just causes a bigger mess than it's worth. All right. Saeed says, my wife's case status changed from issued to ready. She already did the interview. What's the issue? I don't believe anything until you actually have the benefit in hand, the visa, the green card, whatever. So all the online stuff, that's just made up. They just put stuff on there because they feel like it. Oh yeah, we answered that one. Okay. Let's go to Alexa. Could you say you're visiting your boyfriend in the U.S. with tourist visa, or you should tell friend? You should tell the truth, Alexis. Always tell the truth. Lying on your DS-160 or lying to the officer always comes back to bite you, especially now. Should I avoid applying for citizenship if I have 3 burglary charges from 1992, legal resident 1989? That's from Rooster 1000. Rooster, that's a tricky question. We'd have to look at those records from 1992. We'd want to make sure that you're not deportable. But if you've had your green card for 11, 20, 35 years, I'd want you to at least explore it. I wouldn't wait your whole life to apply for citizenship just because of those charges, and you might even be able to do something with those charges. Joy is here. Hello, Joy. How you doing?
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Do you remember me?
Oh, sweetheart, I talk to 20 people a day. I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was here last month, I think a month and a half ago.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, because I thought you might be related to old Donna Thompson. I remember.
I was talking about the expedite request. So we got approved.
Nice.
We got approved last month.
Okay.
So we for our I-130 July 26th and July 27th for my son. And we got a expedite September 9th. And then a week later we got approved.
Great.
Yeah. So now it's like 2 months and a half. Now I got a welcome letter after 2 days of approval, and they asked us to pay the fee and everything, which my husband paid already. Now
Good.
we are waiting for the thing to say paid.
Yeah.
So now my question is, do we have to wait for the information to say paid before we file for the visa? Because I didn't get interview before my I-130 approval. I didn't get no biometrics. I didn't get nothing. I just got approved. I don't know if that was normal.
So are you here in the United States or are you overseas?
No, I'm in Germany.
You're in Germany.
Yes.
So you'll have to, once you file the DS-260, if you want to make another expedite request, you can with the State Department, because remember, you're with a whole new agency, right? So first you have to get the I-130 approved with USCIS. Then once that's approved, it goes to the National Visa Center. So you'll have to make another expedite request with them once the DS-260 is done. So it's too early to do that. If you can start the online form, start it. Whatever is open to you, do it. And then if you want to make another expedite request, you can.
So we have to like write another letter, because I wrote a letter because he was due to health issues. My husband, he's in the military too, you remember? And my mother-in-law has to write a letter. I wrote a letter,
Yeah,
and we have to rewrite all this stuff again.
You can use all that same evidence. You don't have to update it or anything, but you're going to have to make another request because it's a totally different agency.
Oh, okay. So now we have to wait for the payment to say paid before we start the process, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, that was my question, because it's kind of confusing, the whole thing.
Thanks,
But
Joy.
thank you for your advice. I always watch a video on TikTok. Thank you so much.
Awesome. See ya. All right. Donna's referring people left and right over here. How about that? Let's go to Talib. Hi, Talib.
Well, good morning. How are you?
How you doing, buddy? Good.
Good. My question today, I think this October it's going to be 3 years of my marriage. And then my question is, do I have to apply for the citizenship at the month that I got married, so it's going to be 3 years, or do I have to wait until the date that I get approved, which is I think May? So that's the question. Can I start applying right now, or I have to wait until the day I get approved?
You go 3 years from the date on your green card, whatever the date on the green card.
Yeah, I already applied for the I think ICE 170 750. Yeah, but it's still pending. It's been almost like 9 months from
that'll be
March.
pending. That'll be pending 2 years.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm not really relying on it. It's been like almost 6 to 9 months. I don't know. It was in March. Right now, it's I don't know, like almost 6 to 9 months. But
it'll take 2 years. It'll take 2 years. Don't worry about that.
Oh wow! So I thought they're gonna approve it quick.
It's 3 years from the date on your green card is when you file for citizenship.
So my question is, can I apply right now for the citizenship, or I have to wait?
What's the start date on the green card?
Oh, it's on May. Like 2022. That was the date of the issue of the green card.
So May 2025 is when you can apply. You can only apply 90 days early. You can't apply now.
Okay, that's what my question is. That depends on the marriage or the approval of the green card.
The start date of the green card. Oh my God, I said it 4 times. He's just not listening. I don't know. There might have been a connection issue. I don't know. All right. Jesvin's here. Hi, Jesvin.
Hey, Jim. It's nice to meet you.
How you doing?
I've been looking at you. Good, thank you. I've been looking at your videos. I have 3 quick questions. One is, I have my DS260 and I made some mistakes on it. I'm scheduled for an interview. How do you suggest I go on to correct those mistakes? So the mistakes are, it's not the country of birth, but I've got my place of birth incorrect. It was lost in translation with my mother. We lived quickly there for a bit.
So I have a video on my website, on the YouTube channel. It's called Errata Sheet. I'm going to put it in the, look for this on YouTube, Errata Sheet. And so you're just going to type up each question and put the correct answer. And at the start of your interview, say, hey, I had a couple small mistakes on my DS260. I just want to make sure you're aware of them and give them to them right away.
So to the consulate officer who is interviewing me, or do I? I'm pretty sure there's an admin before that step. So not to the admin.
I'd say both. I'd bring lots.
You got it. Okay. Second thing is, I want to upload more marriage pictures. So I'm a Canadian citizen and my wife is a US citizen. We've got lots more marriage evidence now that after the during the 2-year period or 1-year period after applying for I-130, how do you suggest I upload them? Do you think I bring them to the interview, or do I upload them in the CEC?
If you can upload them to SEAC, do it. If you can't, bring them.
Okay, perfect. And the last question is, I've got lots of conflicting information about, hey, I've got visa officers telling me on YouTube saying, do not say one-worded answers, do not give a yes or no questions. But you, who deal more with, who's more of an expert with green card marriages, are saying give short answers. So what do you think is the best approach here?
Answer the question that is asked, and only answer the question that is asked. If they ask you an open-ended question like tell us how you met, then tell them how you met. If they say, so it says here that you've lived in Canada since December 3rd, 2022. Is that correct? Yes. And then be quiet. So just answer each question as concisely, as shortly as possible.
Okay, I get your point. Okay. Thank you. So listen to the question. Listen to if they are wanting to
question. Nobody's writing down that you took 2.4 seconds to answer the question. There's not a stopwatch, right? So listen to the question, answer it yes or no, tell the truth, and then be quiet.
Okay.
Like
Thank you.
that question I just asked. So you've lived in Canada since 2020. Oh yeah, well, sort of. I think I moved from college, and then I was, here, and then people just say way too much, and sometimes it just leads to more questions. So short and sweet.
Okay.
Good luck. When's your interview?
November 8th.
How long have you been waiting? When did you get DQ'd?
DQ'd in April 16th, April 17th.
So 7 months. 7 months.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. Thanks, Justin. See you, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. Back to TikTok we go. Should I avoid applying for citizenship? Oh, we did that one. Oh, darn it. I haven't filed any I-130 yet. To my knowledge, she can't visit here until the spouse visa is approved. That's true. I mean, she can try to visit, but most likely it's going to get denied. Clark, is it harder to get in the U.S. via invitation while in filing? My husband is a U.S. citizen. Yes, I have tons of videos on that. If I win the DV lottery on an F1 visa, how can I adjust my status? Goro, well, you have to watch the visa bulletin every month. You have to wait for your number to become current based on your region, and then you would file a 485. You also have to pay the KCC fees before that. MXGUEE. Hi, I would like to adjust my status while in the States with a tourist visa. Is that possible? Maybe, but you have to have an immigrant visa pending for you. You can't just adjust because you're here. You have to have someone or some employer sponsoring you. My husband had a work card. It expires in 2025, but we haven't had an interview. What to do? Well, 2025, I mean, I would ask how long has it been without an interview? If it's been a really long time, you might need to sue them. You can always file to renew the work card, say 90 days out before it expires. Michaela, if my dad got his citizenship and died before he could start a petition, can I get a green card? No. You might be a citizen, but no, if he didn't start the petition, there's not going to be a way to proceed through him. All right. I got DS in the house. Hello. DS. You're on mute.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you, Jim. It's been a while. It's been a long time. I want to say hello to you.
Sure. Hello to you.
Can I turn off my camera?
Sure.
So, Jim, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much from bottom of my heart. I became a US citizen recently, like 6 months ago. And I was planning to work overseas, like out of America, to gain some cultural experience and then leadership skills. So I might thinking about moving to Dubai or somewhere. So as a US citizens, what are the things do I need to consider like before move out to other countries for work? What do you suggest?
I have no idea. People in the comments might, but that's not something I know about.
So as an immigration point of view, like I can live and work outside the US like forever as a US citizen?
Yeah.
There is no problem, right?
No.
All right. So that's the question I have. Thank you, Jim.
IBS, good luck, buddy. All right. Let's go to Curious. Hello, Curious.
Hi, good morning, Jim. Thank you for taking this call.
Sure.
I was curious. A friend of mine, does USCIS recognize foreign divorces?
Does USCIS recognize foreign divorces?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. What you need to do is you need to look at something called the visa reciprocity table. So USCIS and the State Department, they don't want to have to think about what makes a divorce decree valid every single time. So they've gone through country by country and said, if you have a divorce from, say, Ghana, it will look like this. There'll be a green seal on the top. It'll be issued by the Ministry of Divorce. I'm joking. You know, the Ministry of Divorce. It'll have 3 signatures. It'll be folded 3 different ways. It'll have a red ribbon, whatever it is. They'll tell you exactly what each country expects, and then of course it has to be translated. But yeah, they'll recognize foreign divorces.
Okay. The reason why I asked is because my friend's lawyer said that they couldn't find a divorce in whatever system that they're looking in. So the husband ended up getting another divorce here in the States, but they were already married to my friend. So is that going to be problematic?
Yeah. I've done that before. Sometimes you have to do that. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. That's all I had. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Just a quick question. How can we pass on that? Hello.
Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Yes, I was on your show last Friday and I forgot to ask you about the passport. So I applied for the passport and I think it takes 2 to 3 weeks expedited. So I wanted to know before I get in trouble if I could leave the country while it's pending and have someone FedEx the passport.
I vote no on that plan.
No. Okay. That's what I thought. I was reading about it and somewhere I read that it's illegal or something, and
I don't know if it is or not. I just think it's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
I would not want to be outside the United States without my passport.
Without the U.S. passport. Okay. And for my parents, do you know how long it usually takes for them to, once they apply with the I-130, how long does it take for them to get, a travel card or an advanced parole card?
People will say in the comments, I'm thinking like 4 to 6 months. It's hard to tell because they raised the fees in April and said they were going to do it faster, but I don't think that they are.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, my wife Amani had a great interview up in Boston this week. She had a wonderful officer. He was very kind. There was a little bit of a hiccup with an issue that the client had on the green card application, but Amani knocked it out. The officer was very kind. Turns out he was an old immigration lawyer, former immigration lawyer. Now he's working for USCIS. I was thinking, man, I don't think I could do that, but he made it fun and it got approved. And here's the kicker. Amani almost fell over. The guy says, you're approved. And, Boston, they don't mess around over there. They have same day ceremonies. So you get sworn in right after you have your naturalization interview. And the officer says to her, it's all approved. Everything's good. And RJ says traveling without your passport is against the law, probably for good reason. Officer says, well, when do you want to do your citizenship? And she goes, well, how about December? And he's like, and Amani's like, December? No. We'll do it right now. And so they walked upstairs and the client got naturalized. Amani went to the hotel, checked out, flew back. So a good day for Amani. But man, Boston's expensive. The flights were $1,000 and there was literally not a hotel less than $500 a night. It was insane. All right, let's go to Wael. Hello, Wael.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I just came here in 2010 as a J1 visa, and my sponsor is Department of State, Fulbright, and I'm married to a U.S. citizen in 2016, and I live with her since, and she passed away last year in September 24. And once the I-130 was pending, and we sent them the death certificate and to accept the underlying application, and they accepted, and I applied for I-485. And while it's pending, I applied for emergency travel documents, and I went back to Egypt, and I came back in August 30. They give it to me for 1 month, and I have the interview in October 8, like 2 days ago. And the interview for the I-485.
Yeah.
And the officer was aggressive with me about the 2-year resident.
Yeah.
And I tell him, she asked my wife, she asked for all the letter from the doctor to apply for the hardship, but she was sick for 3 months in the hospital and we couldn't apply. and there is the update was issued in October 24, 2023. This means if the applicant can comply for the 2-year resident, they can waive it and excuse it and discuss it with the Department of State. But I don't know they're gonna accept it or they're gonna deny it because
they never do for Fulbrights. That was never going to work. You can't.
No, there is an update. There is an update they issued last year in October 24. This means if the applicant can comply or satisfy the 2 years and the country under war, and Egypt and in the Middle East, what is the situation right now?
Oh, you just went on a trip there.
I went on a trip because my sister was making a surgery because she has a breast cancer, and I attended and I came back.
What's your question, Wael?
My question, they can waive it for me because I already here 14 years since 2010, and I filed all required taxes and all that. And my question is, can I apply for any waiver, even under persecution?
It's way too late. Your 45 was already interviewed. You should have done it 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I couldn't because she was that an 8-year live with her.
Right, but when you have a J1 with 212E with Fulbright, number one, they never give that waiver. Never, very very rarely, maybe one time out of 1,000. Number two, you have to do that before you file for the 45. Before you file for the 45, not after your interview. So no, I don't think that's going to work. Wow. Good luck to you. All right. Let's take Abaskar. Abaskar, hello.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm really fine. Me and my parents, we went to US in 2014, right? We went to there in EDV from Nepal, and we returned shortly after, as my parents were government officer. In time 2015, government of Nepal introduced a law that prevented them from holding citizenship or PR from any other country, and my father had 4 years left to his pension, so he gave up his green card, and my mother as well, as they were both government officer, and I was not. I was a minor then, and I couldn't travel alone to the US, right? And after 10 years, recently 2023 July, I guess, I applied for SB1 visa then, and I got denied. Stating that my parents' decision was obligated to me, right, when I was a minor.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and my parents was they stated that, and I applied second time, collecting more facts, more documents, that I could not travel there alone, as I had some health problems as well. I had a birthmark on my lungs that could give me pneumonia at any time, and I could not travel, and I had no one then. Then in 2024 June, I again applied with some documents, with printed law, and I again gave the visa officer then, and he took my green card and documents for 2 to 3 days, and he called me to the embassy, and he told me that my parents had choice. He consulted with their lawyers as well in Washington, and they decided that my parents had choice either to stay in Nepal or to go to US as well, and they stayed in Nepal, and I was obligated to them, and that made sense. And I also had a college admission letter as well. I had carried with me of US, and uh, then he referred me that you could apply for an F1 visa as well, as you were 8 years old then. You didn't pretty much know about this green card stuffs, this visa stuffs then, and he motivated me to go there. And recently, 2 days back, I had an F1 visa interview, and the visa officer, he denied me an F1 visa, as I had SB1 visa applied before.
Yep.
What could I do from here?
Nothing. I don't think they're gonna let you come.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I think I wouldn't do another SB1, and I think you've demonstrated immigrant intent, so I think that means you don't get a student visa.
Okay. If I sometime later, if I completed my bachelor's, which I am trying to pursue in Germany in 2025, and if I completed my bachelor's there and try again for an F1 visa or an F2 visa for masters, do you think it would be granted?
I think there's maybe a 10% chance.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Abascar. Sorry that happened, bud. All right, let's go back to TikTok real quick before we leave. Yeah, Levon 2024. That is Hina, who works for me. She's keeping track of the comments. I don't know. She blocked him. Okay, good. All right, everybody. We'll be done here today. I'll be back over the weekend. We're going to do a pop-up show. So if you're not on our text line, text the word show to 314-470-3300. Don't know when I'll do a show. Probably on Sunday. Maybe on Saturday. Depends on softball. So we got softball Friday and Saturday. So I will keep you guys posted. In the meantime, feel free to join us in our Facebook group, Immigrant Home, or subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you hit alerts, you'll get alerted that way. We'll be doing some TikTok fun, and we'll see you guys all. Thank you, Dammy, for always keeping things kind and honest. I hope you guys all have a great night. Donna, big up to all the Yardies, and have a good rest of the week and a good end to your weekend. Thank you, Hina. Thank you, Huli. And we'll see you guys at the very latest next Monday. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in the state of Asia.